Hello bachcho, the question is which one of the following is not used for ex-situ plant conservation? When we say ex-situ conservation, it means it is known as off-site conservation of biodiversity. It means here either the organism is taken away from its natural home or it includes the advanced ex-situ conservation, like the organism, their genes are protected, so it is known as gene bank. There are several kinds of gene banks like the pollen banks, the seed banks, or it includes the tissue culture, which is the propagation of organisms in laboratory conditions, so tissue culture. It also includes the botanical gardens and it also includes the cryopreservation. So there are several approaches of off-site conservation. Now we have to choose which is not used for the ex-situ conservation of plants. So first is shifting cultivation. So this is not at all a method of conservation. The shifting cultivation includes the cultivation at one place. For example, the nomad people, what do? They grow their crops in one area. After harvesting it, they move to some other places. So such a cultivation is known as shifting cultivation and it is not at all a method of conservation of plant. So this is discarded. So the right answer will be option A, because it is not a method of ex-situ conservation. Now if we look at other threes, then botanical gardens. So these are the gardens where the plants which are facing the threat of extinction or other important plants of economic importance which may be indigenous or exotic, they are grown for research purpose, for taxonomic studies and for conservation. So this involves a method of conservation of plants outside their natural home. So this is a method of ex-situ conservation. Now field gene banks. So gene banks involve the protection or conservation of genes of organisms. They may be either in terms of seed collection, means seeds are conserved, seeds of plants are conserved to protect the genes, means they can be used in future for breeding experiments or they can be used for growing plants when the plants are facing the risk of extinction. Now the seeds can be stored in form of dried condition. Then these are called the seed banks. But in some plants, the preservation of seeds in dry condition is not possible. So here the plants are grown, means the seeds are grown for protecting their genes. So if the seeds are not cannot be stored in dried condition, then these seeds are grown, and here by growing the seeds, the genes of plants are protected. So this is an approach of off-situ conservation or ex-situ conservation, and seed banks are also an ex-situ conservation of biodiversity. So all these three are ex-situ, while the shifting cultivation is not a method of ex-situ conservation. So it is our right answer. So option A is the right answer. All the best.